Okay, so section 9.6 covers matrices. So a matrix is just a way to organize data. When we turn a system into a matrix, we basically just take out the constants. So here, we know that when there's no coefficient, the coefficient is 1. So the constant here would be 1. There is no C here, so I would put a 0. And then -2, and then 100. So then my next line would be -4, 1, 12, 400. -4, 0, 9, 250. And so then going the other way, we're basically just copying these numbers into these boxes. 1, -2, 0, 100, 6, -15, 1, 150, 3, -10, 1, 250. Okay. And so to do reduced row echelon form, we put our matrix in our calculator. We do that by, make sure you got everything on the screen there. Okay. We do that by pressing second and then x to the -1 to get to matrix. See it right there? So second and then x to the -1 to get to matrix. Then over to edit. And now this matrix has 3 rows and 4 columns. So I do 3 enter, 4 enter. And then I just enter the numbers. I just put each number in, pressing enter after each one in order to save it. So 1 enter, -1, 6, 250, 5, 100, 0, 0, 1, 400. Okay. And then once you have your matrix entered, press second and then mode to quit back to your main screen. Now to do reduced row echelon form, we press second and then matrix. We go over to math and we scroll down to RREF. See it? RREF, reduced row echelon form. And then we go back, so I press enter on it. Then we go back to matrix, and then we press enter on matrix A because we want to do reduced row echelon form to matrix A. So then 1, 0, 0, -1900, 0, 1, 0, 250, 0, 0, 1, 400. So we can use reduced row echelon form to solve any system of equation. The only thing that we need to make sure that we do before we create our augmented matrix is our variables have to line up. So I can't have TAAT. I need to have TTAA. So since they're asking for T first, I'm going to put T first. So that would be -9T minus 8A equals -1214 on top. And then -5T plus 6A equals -194 on the bottom. So as a matrix, I'm going to go second and then x to the -1 over to edit. This has 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 enter, 3 enter. -9, -8, -1214. 6, -194. Okay, then we quit. Now, since I have RREF right there, I'm going to do second and then enter to just pull that back up because I saved my new matrix in A. And so what this says, if we're comparing this matrix to this matrix, what this is saying is that 1T plus 0A equals 94, which means that T equals 94. And 0T plus 1A equals 46, which means that A equals 46. And so you can use matrices to solve any system of equations using this reduced row echelon form. I just want to make a note to you guys that if you wind up with a special system, a system that has infinitely many solutions, the matrix your bottom row will be all zeros. So if you do RREF of A and you have a bottom row that is all zeros, then that means that you have infinitely many solutions. And if you have no solutions, then your bottom row is all zeros except the last number is 1. So it would be like 0, 0, 1 or 0, 0, 0, 1. That means you have no solutions. So all zeros is infinitely many solutions, and all zeros and then a 1 is no solutions. Okay? All right. So I am going to make a matrix out of this system. They're asking me XWU, so I'm going to put my variables in that order. The first equation is already in that order. 2x minus 4w plus u equals 12. So then for the second equation, I'm going to make it negative x plus w. I'm going to subtract this u to bring it over. So minus u equals negative 4. And then an x minus 2w, no u term there, equals 5. You go second and the next to the negative 1 to get to matrix, over to edit. This is a 3 by 4. 2, negative 4, 1, 12, negative 1, 1, negative 1, negative 4, 1, negative 2, 0, 5. Okay. Second in mode to quit. Second enter to pull up my RREF of A. So I have that x is negative 1, w is negative 3, and u is 2. And so this works on matrices, on systems, excuse me, of all sizes. So they gave me this really massive system here. They were nice enough to put it in order for me. So I'm going to put this in as a matrix. Second, that's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted either. There we go. Second and the next to the negative 1. Edit. This one has 4 rows and 5 columns. Negative 45, 5, 6, negative 15, negative 47. Second mode to quit. So then we have 3, 5, negative 2, negative 5. Okay. Let's look at some word problems. Roy just inherited $42,600. He chooses to invest some of his inheritance in a mutual fund that pays 6% interest. We'll call that X. And some in a less risky CD that pays 2% interest. The annual interest between the two accounts is $1,512. Okay, so we know that the total amount that he invested was $42,600. And we know that 6% of X plus 2% of Y was 1512. Now, honestly, this one would be pretty easy to solve. using elimination, but whatever. So he invested 16,500 at 6% and 26,100 at 2%. At a local baseball game, one concession stand has two different choices: 8 hot dogs and 6 drinks for $33, or 2 hot dogs and 3 drinks for $13.50. Okay. Oops. So then that would be $1.50 for a hot dog and $3.50 for a drink. Okay. So last but not least, Maricopa's Success Scholarship Fund receives a gift of $160,000. The money is invested in stocks, bonds, and CDs. Okay. The CDs pay 5%. So that's 0.05. I'm going to write it there for myself. Bonds pay 2.1%. So that's 0.021. And stocks pay 10.3. So 0.103. I'm going to make stocks X, bonds Y, and CDs Z because that's the order they're asking me for. So that way they'll line up 1, 2, 3. And so we know that the total amount they invested was $160,000. We know that Maricopa Success invested $60,000 more in bonds than in CDs. So the number they spend in CDs, the number they spend in stocks is the number they spend in CDs plus $60,000. Now, if I want to turn this into an equation that looks like this, I would just subtract the Z from both sides. And I would have Y minus Z equals 60,000. Which makes sense because if they invested $60,000 more, then the difference between the two should be $60,000. And then 0.103x plus 0.021y plus 0.05z was the 8185 that they made total. This one's 3 by 4. So $50,000 in stocks, $85,000 in bonds, $25,000 in CDs. Okay, so if you do not have a graphing calculator, Desmos has a matrix calculator that works like pretty easily. It's just desmos.com/matrix. So if I was going to do this last problem, I would press new matrix, edit the rows. So we said 3 rows, 4 columns. And then it was 160,000. 0, 1, -1, 60,000, 0.03, 0.021, 0.05, 81, 85. And so then once I do that, I just clicked off of it, and then you see RREF right here. So we press RREF of A, and it popped up right there with the same answer that I got in my graphing calculator. So feel free to use the desmos.com/matrix calculator if you do not have your graphing calculator. Okay. So that was 9.6, our last section of regular notes.